Hey everyone, it's Alex again, and I am back with another 88th Academy Awards update video. This time giving you an update on another video I had done previously. I'm here today to give you an update on the Best Documentary Feature category. About a month ago, I made a video about the Best Documentary Feature category, in which I went over the rules and how a film can be eligible for that category, and I also read the list of the 124 films that were eligible for that category. And in that video, I mentioned that 15 films would be picked as semifinalists for the category, and from those 15 semifinalists, 5 of them would become the official Oscar nominees for Best Documentary Feature. Well, today I'm here to reveal to you what those 15 semifinalists are, as well as what each of them are about, in case you decide to go and seek out these movies for yourselves. So, without further ado, the 15 semifinalists for Best Documentary Feature are, in alphabetical order, Amy, Best of Enemies, Cartel Land, Going Clear, Scientology and the Prison of Belief, He Named Me Malala, Heart of a Dog, The Hunting Ground, Listen to Me Marlon, The Look of Silence, Maru, 3.5 Minutes, 10 Bullets, We Come as Friends, What Happened, Miss Simone, Where to Invade Next, Winter on Fire, Ukraine's Fight for Freedom. And now here's what all these documentaries are about. These plot summaries come directly from IMDb, which I copied and pasted right here and printed them out so that I could read them to you. Amy, the story of Amy Winehouse in her own words, featuring unseen archival footage and unheard tracks. Best of Enemies. Best of Enemies is a documentary about the legendary series of nationally televised debates in 1968 between two great public intellectuals, the liberal Gore Vidal and the conservative William F. Buckley, Jr. Intended as commentary on the issues of their day, these vitriolic and explosive encounters came to define the modern era of public discourse in the media, marking the Big Bang moment of our contemporary media landscape, when spectacle trumped content and argument replaced substance. Best of Enemies delves into the entangled biographies of these two great thinkers and luxuriates in the language and theater of their debates, begging the question, what has television done to the way we discuss politics in our democracy today? Cartel Land. A physician in Michoacan, Mexico, leads a citizen uprising against the drug cartel that has wreaked havoc on the region for years. Across the U.S. border, a veteran heads a paramilitary group working to prevent Mexico's drug wars from entering U.S. territory. Going Clear, Scientology and the Prison of Belief. A devastating 2-hour documentary based on Lawrence Wright's book of the same name, Scientology is laid bare by a film that skillfully knits together archive footage, testimonials from former high-ranking officials, and public and dramatic reconstructions. He Named Me Malala. A look at the events leading up to the Taliban's attack on Pakistani schoolgirl Malala Yousafzai for speaking out on girls' education, followed by the aftermath, including her speech to the United Nations. Heart of a Dog. An impressionistic and musical meditation on a pet's death with a prelude by the artist Laurie Anderson, who enjoyed a very deep relationship with her dog. The Hunting Ground. From the makers of The Invisible War comes a startling expose of rape crimes on U.S. college campuses, their institutional cover-ups, and the devastating toll they take on students and their families. Weaving together verite footage and first-person testimonies, the film follows the lives of several undergraduate assault survivors as they attempt to pursue, despite incredible pushback, harassment, and traumatic aftermath, both their education and justice. Listen to Me Marlon. With exclusive access to his extraordinary unseen and unheard personal archive, including hundreds of hours of audio recorded over the course of his life, this is the definitive Marlon Brando cinema documentary. Charting his exceptional career as an actor and his extraordinary life away from the stage and screen with Brando himself as your guide, the film will fully explore the complexities of the man by telling the story uniquely from Marlon's perspective, entirely in his own voice. No talking heads, no interviewees, just Brando on Brando and life. The Look of Silence. A family that survives the genocide in Indonesia confronts the men who killed one of their brothers. Meru. 3 elite climbers struggle to find their way through obsession and loss as they attempt to climb Mount Meru, one of the most coveted prizes in the high-stakes game of Himalayan big wall climbing. 3.5 minutes, 10 bullets. Black Friday, the day after Thanksgiving, November 2012, 4 boys in a red SUV pull into a gas station after spending time at the mall buying sneakers and talking to girls. With music blaring, one boy exits the car and enters the store, a quick stop for a soda and a pack of gum. A man and a woman pull up next to the boys in the station, making a stop for a bottle of wine. The woman enters the store and an argument breaks out when the driver of the second car asks the boys to turn the music down. 3.5 minutes and 10 bullets later, one of the boys is dead. 3.5 minutes dissects the aftermath of this fatal encounter. We come as friends. As war-ravaged South Sudan claims independence from North Sudan and its brutal president Omar al-Bashir, a tiny homemade prop plane wings in from France. It is piloted by eagle-eyed documentarian Hubert Soper, who is mining for stories in a land trapped in the past but careening toward an apocalyptic future. What Happened, Miss Simone? A documentary about the life and legend Nina Simone, an American singer, pianist, and civil rights activist labeled the High Priestess of Soul. Where to invade next? To learn what the USA can gain from other nations, Michael Moore playfully invades them to see what they have to offer. I did air quotes there because the word invade is written in quotation marks here on the plot summary, because this is not like an actual military invasion I'm referencing here. This is apparently Michael Moore going to other nations and looking at things like their education system, their prison system, their maternity leave system, those kinds of things. And finally, Winter on Fire, Ukraine's Fight for Freedom. A documentary on the unrest in Ukraine during 2013 and 2014, as student demonstrations supporting European integration grew into a violent revolution calling for the resignation of President Viktor F. Yanukovych. And those are what all those documentaries are about. As to what will actually be nominated, just based on critical buzz and based on awards nominations and wins so far from various groups, I think the front runner right now is Amy. That's been winning a lot of praise. I think it has like a 97 on Rotten Tomatoes, pretty high up there. It's been winning several Best Documentary awards. So that is definitely a lock for a nomination. Going Clear, Scientology and the Prison of Belief, I think will definitely be nominated because its director, Alex Gibney, has been nominated many times before. He makes very expose documentaries, and this is no exception. And and that's been getting a lot of high praise too, and some big nominations. He Named Me Malala, I think, will be a big contender. Oscar voters usually like documentaries that are about very current situations, and Malala Yousafzai is a figure right now who is very popular in the media and who has gained a lot of notice for her efforts in improving girls' education in the Middle East. And of course, as I mentioned in my first video, she's the youngest person ever to win the Nobel Peace Prize. Hunting Ground, I think, has a chance of being nominated because it's from the same group of figures who made another Oscar-nominated documentary about rape called The Invisible War. In fact, only that film dealt with rape in the military. Like The Invisible War, The Hunting Ground's been getting a lot of praise for the way it deals with the situation of rape on college campuses and the cover-up that goes on there, just like it often goes on in the military. So I think Academy voters will feel it's an important subject matter that needs to be more discussed in public, and they often like to nominate 1 or 2 documentaries every year that do that. And then finally, I think the final slot will be a show-off between either Listen to Me, Marlon or The Look of Silence. The Look of Silence, it's considered a sequel to a documentary that was nominated 2 years ago called The Act of Killing, which was also about the Indonesian genocide in the 1960s, I believe. And it's directed by the same director who directed The Act of Killing, so he's literally making a follow-up to his own film. That's been getting some praise and some nominations, but so has Listen to Me, Marlon. I'd say out of those two, I honestly don't know, but I wouldn't be surprised if Listen to Me, Marlon gets that 5th slot, because as I read as the plot summary describes, this is Marlon Brando in his own words. And Marlon Brando, if you've ever watched if you ever watch on YouTube interviews he did with people like Larry King, he was a very complex person. He gave very interesting answers to the questions he was asked. And if you read any biography about him, or if you watch any TV documentary about him, you'll know his life was not only very complex, but very fascinating. So yeah, those are my 5 predictions as to what will get nominated. Amy, Going Clear Scientology, and The Prison of Belief. He Named Me Malala, The Hunting Ground, and Listen to Me, Marlon. As for what will win, it looks like Amy is the front runner right now to win. So, I mean, we'll see what happens come Oscar time. Of course, we don't even know which films from these 15 will be nominated, but that's the hunch I have at this moment. But in January, we'll see if I'm right or wrong. But be sure to check back in a few days for my next series of videos about the Oscars and all the other award shows coming up. And until then, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.